thing, so could definitely see that climb up. Let's go ahead and check out Battleground number 2 here in this best of 5 series. As Method decides to go to Volskaya Foundry, Fnatic will elect to keep first pick. Things you can sit on this map. Sergeant Hammer could become a pick for these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the heroes that we could see from both teams here. I'm still wondering a bit on what Fnatic's going to play here. We have seen different approaches to Volskaya. Usually it's really just about either zone control or item control or both, but especially the zone control on the objective, the control point is crucial. Fnatic has to shake this one off. And I'm coming back to your points that I raised from day one. Is Shrimpy the one who can motivate everybody? If he gets tilted, you have a problem. It was a problem in the past, and we haven't really heard too much about it. We're only in week 2, so that is still a continuous storyline, at least for me, where I'm thinking, okay, can he just accept that defeat? Can he look at that loss and say, okay, we know why we lost, it's not a big deal, let's focus on the second one? Because if he doesn't, then Breeze needs to come in and needs to be that leader that says, guys, focus on the game. They have Blumby to help them out with that too, but this is definitely not how they wanted to start into it. And I don't think there's a lot of bad blood between them and Bad Benny, but there's definitely an aspect to it where you don't want to lose when you kicked someone from the team and said, hey, we need someone else to fill that role because it just doesn't work out. Yeah. And all of a sudden he's back into the main tank role and just destroys you with beautiful sanctifications in the first game when you play against his team. So that adds some spice to it.
Definitely some adrenaline here for Bad Benny, really wanting to get this win, as you mentioned. He was so happy to be back on that main tank role, and it shows in his gameplay, honestly. It reflects whenever he is able to pull off the plays that he can. Fnatic are not allowing Method to move into Medivh today. Another Medivh ban.
But that also shakes up the entire dynamic of the draft, since most of the time when we're looking at drafts right now, we have very consistent bans against Genji, against Tracer. The mobility that they bring to the game is something that a lot of teams just simply don't want to deal with. And there's, of course, huge power spikes around double support Tracers, around Genji too, where you have with Genji the recent mechanics that can snowball a fight. So that's what we normally see banned. And a lot of the drafts that we see from mid-tier teams in particular just are completely shaped around these two bans. And with Fnatic now for the second time banning out Medivh, which makes sense against Method, no doubt about that, but with them again breaking that ban pattern that we see most of the time, it opens up a lot of possibilities where you can't fall back into your normal patterns, where you have certain ideas about what your first pick is going to be, because now you have to readjust for Tracer and Genji.
Well, NDRD taking his time to think about his ban. Saw a ban on Garrosh at gate number 1, but obviously it makes sense in hindsight due to the amount of aggressive diving that they went to pull off. Deckard Kane is actually going to be the ban here for Method.
The Garrosh ban on last map, you talked about the dive, and you're absolutely right.
Garrosh
was a good ban, but at the same time, if you think about it, there's also the aspect that if your opponent doesn't ban Genji or Tracer, what happens if you ban the other element out? You give your opponent a strong pick, and what do you get in return? Yeah. Is that really worth it for you? So if you ban a third hero and you don't go into the regular ban pattern yourself, all of a sudden both are open, so you're guaranteed one if you want it. And what we're seeing from Fnatic right now, the Tacita first pick, that's actually just simply them saying, hey, if you take Tracer, we take Vala. We can still take Hammer. We can also take something completely apart from those two. Double support compositions work with a lot of these, but we want to make sure that we have that double support, and we don't really care too much about which auto attacker it's going to be.
Method is so willing to run Abathur. Just a second pick in here. Genji and Abathur going to be their 1-2 immediately afterwards. So you might be able to ban the Medivh all day, but you got to figure out a solution for the Slug. And some have shown off Vikings play as a way to counter that, but being able to force fights is another way that you can try and get those engagements. With Fnatic having an opening for Tacita, we should be seeing a hyper carry coming at some point. It's just a matter of whether or not they can find a tank that allows them to get the engages they want.
I mean, Tracer or Vala are definitely the two that we're looking at. Tracer would be the one that you traditionally think is going to make an appearance. Yeah. But we've seen Vala played by Dignitas and by Fnatic, both on this map. But Abathur and Genji is a terrifying composition. Genji alone is already a nuisance when he jumps into that backline and can give the squishies a tough time. But if you have the symbiote on top of him too, that just adds to the problem. So it's a difficult one. Urel and Diablo. Okay. I like the commitment to Urel, but I expected the hyper carry to be chosen now instead of giving Method the opportunity to ban one of them out if they want to.
I mean, it leaves them kind of flexible in that 4th and 5th pickup based on what Method picks on the 3rd and 4th slot.
Fnatic just looking at this, like, when behind, could breeze on Diablo.
Smart plan, honestly.
It's a good plan for sure. But still, having Urel and Diablo, that's a lot of zone control for them. Very aggressive.
Incredible front line.
We've seen how much of an impact Athero had with Urel in the last game. I mean, him continuously going into the backline and just using his displacement to push everyone into an awkward spot, especially Deckard Kane. He doesn't have an escape. Once that you push him into the team, he just has to walk out from there, and that's nearly impossible for him. So great job by Athero. But now Urel is in the hands of Fnatic, and that is going to force Method to think about a different offliner for them.
If you're here, do you think about banning out Sergeant Hammer just to make sure? I mean, you can rotate Tassadar. They're going to go with the Vala ban instead. Tracer still up and available. It's not a spot where you run Genji and Tracer, right? You think Method would be crazy enough to run it?
Not really.
No.
If you run Genji and Tracer with an Abathur composition that basically forces you... I mean, you could let... I'm thinking about what you would drop. If you would drop the support, and would you just simply run an offlaner still with it, or if you would drop the offlaner and say we are going to put a Genji at the early game towards the top, help out with an Abathur head, and then once he rotates down, the slug takes over. But I think would be a very weird composition where you need to have absolutely top-notch execution to get value out of it. I think it would be extremely squishy, so I don't think that you can commit to both.
You would have to find small skirmishes all over the place too. You don't want to have a full 5-on-5 straight-up heavyweight fight.
Yeah, it would be pretty awkward.
Well, Fnatic thinking about their ban here. It's going to be a Murden. Let's go with the safe ban. Murden with an Abathur hat, always strong too. Also a little bit annoying against Urel. This might not come up here, but just a random side tangent. Against Urel, actually, I feel like Valeera might be someone that we might start to see a little bit more often in that top lane against her. The silence makes it very difficult for Urel to actually pop out her abilities, and if you can stop that, you make her quit being so powerful in what she does.
Stun locks and silences.
Stun locks and silences. That's why
Skullcracker abilities. Yeah,
Skullcracker into Valeera. That's where that thought process came from. Let's see here.
Haven't really seen that too much yet. I think it was played once in North America against Urel. I actually don't know how that specific match ended, but I know that it was picked. But in Europe, we still see the priority for give him the axe. But in theory, with everything that Urel needs, where she wants to go for the full charge, Skullcracker is at least theoretically something you can use. But the main question is still, does it give you enough value
where you stop diving the back line and being
and also where the value is just like stronger than what you get from giving the axe.
Well, some pretty standard picks for our third and fourth. Malfurion and Johanna. Hold down the control point. Wave clear goes up with both these picks. Not bad.
Leaves the side lane open and allows also Methods and Athero to adjust to whatever Fnatic takes now. Now the Tassadar pick is something where you immediately jump to, okay, they're going to go for Tracer here, especially since she wasn't banned. But right now I'm not really 100% convinced yet. It would be the natural go-to. We've thrown Hammer into the mix a bit as well. Another question would be, what's going to be the support here? Are we going to see Karazim? Is Rega, now that he got buffed, maybe making that comeback here? Alex Straza could be an option with Tassadar and with Diablo at that front.
True. Uther could be helpful if you really want to go that route.
It depends a bit on what the damage dealer is going to be.
Yeah.
They have to adjust for that for sure. With another comp, I could definitely see Alex. And there we have it. Alex Straza and Tracer.
Strong front line. Alex might be a weak point if Method can get to her, but obviously you have tools to prevent that. Dragon Queen.
I kind of like her, yeah. Alex Straza is really growing on me. We see her a lot in Infernal Shrines, and I think she performs extremely well there, especially with that tendency that we have now to these frontline, or these space-dominating frontline tanks and also offlaners like Urel that can really shield her properly and can claim the space around her healing. So I like that a lot. And I feel outside of Shrines Volskaya is another map where you can really get a lot of value out of her. But it still asks the question how Method is going to react to that situation. Because I think they still need a bit more damage, even with Abathur being around. So a bit more of an aggressive side laner. I mean, with Diablo and Urel at the front, you can always think about Malthael here. The question then is, do you have enough sustain at that front line to keep your opponent from diving the back?
Is this a Tychus? No, they need a side laner. No, it's going to be a Thrall. Do you think Thrall's going to be enough to be able to handle Diablo and Yrel on the front line? Or do you just kind of ignore them and try to kill off the back or deal with Tracer?
I mean, the cool thing that Thrall has is he has the point-and-click attack again. Once he stacks his quest, he has a point-and-click attack against Tracer.
Sure.
That's really nice to just chunk her down a little bit in a long, sustainable fight where Tracer's just all of a sudden getting damage, and it forces the support to really baby her the entire time. So that's pretty good for him. As a counter to Diablo, you have your level 7, you have your level 16, the Ancestral Wrath and the Alpha Wolf, so that helps to chunk it down a bit. But with Tassadar in the mix, I'm not sure if he's gonna be enough. The problem that I have with Thrall in some setups, and this might be one of them, is that oftentimes when he gets focused, you can focus him down really quickly.
Yeah.
But you have Abathur to negate that. I will admit that I like this a little bit more from Fnatic from what we've seen on the last map. I also want to see Yrel now being played by Last Hope. That's something we haven't seen yet, so we can judge that now too. But yeah, for Fnatic, a win here is important. We have seen reverse sweeps. We have seen them in Phase 2 and throughout the entire year, but it's always incredibly difficult to pull those off.
Fnatic, very durable with the composition, but Method, of course, will have a double Genji available for them at level 10. I think that's where they find their kills. Let's go into it here. On the left side in the blue, Nick to play Genji, Kirsten on Malfurion, ADRD on Abathur, Athero on Thrall, and Bad Benny on Johanna.
Johanna for him, ADRD with a Slugger dancing around, Fnatic to the right side with a Mena on Tassadar. We have Breeze on Diablo, of course, Shrimpy currently playing Tracer as expected, Smexy on Alexstrasza, and last but not least their new player, the 20-year-old Serb, Last Hope, is playing Yrel.
We'll be jumping around, playing that side laner, being a nuisance. Malfurion will have to watch out for. Positioning will be key for Kirsten.
Now, one of the things to point out is that we have Feast on Fear on Diablo for level 1. So at this point, he gets a lot of sustain from his Shadow Charge and from the overpower, from the stuns that he can create. Not going for the synergy with Devil's Due and the Circle of Life that we oftentimes see.
That talent can be really good with Force Wall at level 10 if Mena were to go that route.
Yep.
I'm expecting Archon because they're going to need a little bit more damage, but the synergy is there. If Tassadar wants to move that Force Wall, and they can try and find isolation against Thrall in particular, that could be a powerful pick.
Yeah, it's just important I think to note that the Fnatic decided very consciously to go away from that synergy that we oftentimes highlight when Alexstrasza is picked together with Diablo and Infernal Shrines. Since that extra globe that you spawn after you completed your quest through Alexstrasza can really help Diablo when he has Devil's Due on one. But Fnatic just looking at this and saying, yes, we know we have the combo available, but we just don't feel that it gives us what we need. Talking about giving people what they need, what ADRD is giving Thrall here continuously is a hat with a symbiote because it completely offsets the solo lane and allows Thrall to crush Yrel very heavily.
Fnatic working on their turrets while Method did the same here. Method will have to try and be a little bit quicker on grabbing those mercenary camps with them having an Abathur on the field. You don't want to be invaded upon, as usually you have a difficult time dealing with it. So they grab the first turret. Healing Pulse will be the next main focus for both of our teams. Method will keep an eye on there, and they even have a couple of mines in that general area. Mane will continue to work on that Sidestorm build, right now sitting at 126 stacks, 30 for Devil's Due. Well, I'm sorry, for the trait of Diablo.
Level 4 already in, and I mean for now we are seeing the pretty much standard talents on Thrall. He's still working on the Chain Lightning quest on level 1, and with the Echo of Elements he's currently sitting at 7 stacks. So Yrel is making it as difficult as possible right now for him to complete those. And one of the things that you can do, you can see that here, is that Yrel always attempts to stand on the minions that are dropping in hit points. If you are playing against a Thrall in your solo lane, that's one of the things you can try to delay his quest completion for as long as possible. In an ideal world on Volskaya, what you're going to try and do is make sure that you deny the quest completion for the first objective.
Yeah.
That would be the dream. Make sure that Thrall can't use those free pokes with his Chain Lightning during the first objective.
That is a major win if you're able to do that. Thrall wants to finish off all 20 stacks. Right now he's sitting at 12, so needing about 8 more, but I would say Yrel has done well delaying it long enough here. As we have the Merc camp being grabbed the top left for Method, that will be pushing in after they can bolster that out and also clear up the wave to the top. Tassadar and Tracer are actually prepping that lane to make sure they get that advantage, which should allow for Method to start controlling the point, and they do.
Yeah, Breeze at this point is also trying to just make sure that he sets everything up. 17 stacks on Thrall, by the way, so he's 3 away from getting his quest completed. A bit of an engage. Okay, they get on Nick. Get a bit of damage here and against him. Force him to retreat here. Last Hope hopping around on Ural. Nice move by him. Getting Benny in a bit of an awkward spot. Put some extra damage in. And Smexy bringing himself still in from the back line. Always making sure that he's safely away so that it's extremely difficult for Nick to get value when diving on him.
Shrimpy has that pulse bomb. Looking for a target he can drop it off on. As Last Hope and the rest of the crew do come down, so there's a total of 5 here now for Fnatic as they're looking to get control. Method having the lead here, 46-0 so far.
Yeah, going in here, again the pressure against Bad Benny, pushed into the back line, the blinds come out, nice root connect with Smexy and Mena. No follow-up though, items are still in the hands of Mena and Nick here, haven't been dropped yet. Abathur trying to soak the top where the camp is pushing in heavily, but Fnatic is now about to take control of the point. Turret is being dropped, Breeze is low, but he tries to open up an opportunity for them.
Gets healed, he's fine, he backs up. Last Hope buying some time here on the backside. The turret has been used by Fnatic, they are committing fully to the idea of getting a percentage of this control point, jumping up to 5 as they also use Dragon Queen. Method can just back up, retap, and wait it out.
It's a big cooldown right now. Using Dragon Queen already is definitely one of those things where they have to be careful that Zero has to sustain through the level 7 talent with his Ancestral Wrath. But we have also, at the same time, now 7 coming in for Fnatic, and that allows Last Hope to go straight for the Holy Avenger. Cooldown reduction once again.
Benny keeping up with the Condemns. Also picking up the level 7 talent here, trying to go for that punish, as he would love to be able to finish that out. Bad Benny keeps up with the auto attacks while they're continuing to soak, but the percentage continues to climb for Fnatic. They are holding long and strong, but Person finally stepping up, and Nicky has that turret. The moment that Method wants to commit, they can just drop it and go.
Alexstrasza again with the healing circles, but the problem is that always we see Thrall moving in and trying to lock someone down, and they're doing that again. Urel is falling. Counter kill not possible as Shrimp is moving in. Curson is being helped out by Abathur, and now he himself falls. Shrimpy goes down, that's the double kill, and Method again taking the lead here. Helping Curson out, keeping him alive. Shrimpy feeling forced to try and go for a double kill as Urel falls, and in the end he dies as well.
Curson getting the help from his teammates, the shield as well, gets topped off, moves in for the turret to the bottom right, taken away from Fnatic, which should delete their chances for an opportunity to take back this control point. The Dragon Queen getting closer to being up, but not quite there, as Fnatic would love to come into the engage and try to bring this happening. Here's Breeze stepping up.
Fnatic is a level behind. They kind of feel they need to win the Protector, because if they don't, then Method is going to attempt to snowball this, and they definitely have the tools available.
Oh,
Last Hope in so much trouble. Bit too far out. He gets taken down, and now Fnatic is fighting a 4 versus 5 here. Breeze again pushed back, and this is going to be Protector number 1 in the hands of Method.
Method with an experience lead too. Look at that. A level and a half, about to hit level 10 as they break down the turret here in the middle. They're sending the Protector automatically to the top right corner. This is a substantial lead for them.
Yeah, Abathur definitely coming into play here, for sure. I mean, this is an insane lead considering that the Protector hasn't even done anything yet. And with them focusing on the top lane immediately, they are not going to be happy by only taking down the Fountain. They want the fort.
Should be able to get it too. Mana's come up here to help out with Shrimpy, who's building up the pulse bombs, can use those to try and put the damage a little bit lower there. Meanwhile, the entire duration of they're continuing to soak. And Nick coming in from the side, setting up for a bit of a flank. Now, Thrall's in the Protector, but if he wants to pop out, he can drop the Earthquake and hop back in it once again. Fnatic, knowing this, played it safe, plays it careful.
Benny, on the other hand, missing the Blessed Shield here. That was actually an attempt to get some value out of the level 10 abilities, and Fnatic dodged that. So no lockdown against Tracer, and therefore no kill. Benny himself with a quick Iron Skin here. And Police doesn't follow it up. The Protector is still healthy, sitting at 50%, active for a few more seconds, so he doesn't want to chase Johanna down too hard to make sure that there's no turnaround attempt.
Method still has a half a level lead before 10 even hits for Fnatic. A full level and a half lead, actually, over them. But still, no heroics up for Fnatic. They're trying to clear out the middle lane. They have Uriel on the bottom. Method should take this time to grab whatever they can on the map, and they'll grab a support camp, so at least they'll be getting a healing pulse. And with turrets available in the bottom left, they can head there afterwards. Fnatic, on the other hand, is actually setting up a trap, assuming that Method's actually going to rotate down to this bottom left corner. Let's see if they can maybe find a pick.
Yeah, and at the same time, if you're looking now, oh, if they can take a fight here, that would be great for them. They're trying to go in. Okay, so once more, Last Hope with a displacement, trying to create some space for the rest of his boys here. Even the Heroic now activated on Alexstrasza, trying to keep everyone alive, dishing out the damage as well. Again, the Blessed Shield coming out. Shrimpy's hit this time, but Breeze is the focus as they're turning it around, and they take him down, trying to make it a double. Last Hope jumping away, but he could still fall here. pops his ult, moves out, and barely gets away with a quick last jump towards the end.
Barely gets away, but Earthquake not even using that team fight method was able to clean it up pretty darn well, continuing to get the clones. Now, Ultimate Evolution was used to chase down Tassadar. Mane was able to get away thanks to a dimensional shift and the last couple of shields, but Method now able to push it here in the middle lane. They're putting some damage on this fort already, looking to even maybe take this well down. Hold firm.
Method is currently just dominating Fnatic. There's absolutely no doubt about that. We have 4 kills against 0, but they don't tell the whole story, since from a kill perspective, yes, it's annoying, but the amount of experience that they are ahead is absolutely crazy. With the 4 taken out of the top lane, the well destroyed, and the second objective about to spawn, Method grabbing 13. What do you do here? Do you actually fight down a talent without a fort and a well at the top lane? I think it's nearly crazy to try and make that work. But if you give up the Protector again, there's the opportunity for Method to snowball it even further.
Well, so far, Fnatic hasn't gotten into a fight where they've had to use all their heroics together yet. Having an Archon will be great in the top lane with the Lightning Breath to bolster it out, so that could be their next approach, being able to win a team fight. But Method so far has just held on much better. Being able to bait out a couple of heroics would be nice too. Maybe get that Blessed Shield used or even that Earthquake and then try and escape and then come back into a fight. But Fnatic definitely hurting. That is definitely the case.
Yeah, Fnatic with this composition is definitely banking a lot of their hopes into a Shrimpy being able to just dominate in one of these fights. It's just like the individual skill of some of the players is definitely highlighted with the composition. You need Tracer to perform. You need Reese to create some opportunities. And right now, it's just not really happening. And the late game scenario with even talents would be good for Fnatic, but Method is not going to be willing to give them that. They're so far ahead, they're going to try and snowball this hard. It's actually ADRD, the little slugger himself, who's currently taking the control point up to the top, as the rest is pushing the bot lane. Abathur definitely showing how strong he is, and he's one of the heroes that we hear all the European teams talk about all the time, and how much of an impact he has in coordinated play.
Fnatic is waiting for 13 before they make their play towards that top side to even try to contest the control point. But meanwhile, Method, as you mentioned, continues to have Abathur. Oh, I have actually never seen that animation of that coming in. Wow, that was cool. That was straight up dropped. So support camp actually gets grabbed now. But Method continues to just get a lead here, hatting that middle lane, hatting the bottom lane, soaking where they can to make sure they get the experience. And now with 13 hitting, Fnatic's got to make a play.
The problem is that they have very few items. They have 1 turret against 2 healing pulses, and Abathur already moved away, 82% on it, and of course we have even talents, but Method can even wait for 16, and that's what they're trying to do here. They're pushing the mid lane instead, they're getting structures that catapults them even more forward, only half a level left until they get to level 16. And this is where Fnatic is just trying to push the top lane and trying to at least eliminate the well, because if they take that down, then at least Method cannot go and reset at the fountain. So Shrimpy really wants this right now.
They can't even get the consolation prize. Shrimpy has to back up. Method's rotating in, wanting to get 16, and his wave should be able to give it to him. Bree's trying to force a fight, but there's no one for him to grab onto.
Experience, 16 is there.
There it is.
Method has it. So now Fnatic is in this exact same situation as they were before. Their talent down. And are they going to really fight for it? They're trying. They're actually going in. They're trying to go for the kill here. They're moving on to Nick, but they can't lock him down enough. The Lightning Breath comes out, slows them down. Healing pulses are not being used yet from Ethereal or Bad Benny. They're holding on to both. They have the sustain through Curson, and they're trying to go for last hope now. Again, they interrupt. Shrimpy is trying to find the kill. Smeps is actually popping the ult, but the Protector has already been claimed.
Exactly. Fnatic, although they may not be able to get the kills, they did get the Protector, and that'll give them the chance to get some much-needed experience. ADRD is going straight for Alex Raza here on the back line, but should be nearby. Genji can't quite fully dive that. So at least Fnatic are able to grab the Protector. That stops them from their own buildings from falling there and buys them some time here to get 16 themselves.
That was actually well done. With the aggression that they showed, just as they were a few points away from completing it, they secure the Protector. They don't get the kill, but they also don't lose anyone. And the Protector itself is now great for Fnatic, because even if they don't get a lot out of it, even if they aren't able to take down a fort or take down too many structures, they deny it to Method, and that is crucial. If Method...
ADRD?
Yeah, the slice down. If Method actually would have taken the Protector with a 16 talent advantage, they could have, in theory, even ended the game, but they would have definitely gotten the key.
The Protector with the drive-by, sniping Abathur behind the gate. Nice little pick there, and that's actually a needed one. That's some experience. That's a rookie mistake there from ADRD getting picked off.
That must also feel very, very rewarding at this point for Fnatic.
That's something there. Their first kill of the game.
Against Abathur, yeah. It's not only that it's a kill, it's the kill against Abathur, against the guy who puts you in that spot in the first place. So now we're having even more aggression happening here. Fnatic is a half level away from 16. They're starting to get there.
Yeah. With the projector being top, Method realized there was 2 there. So they decided to maybe put out a little bit of a trade here to the south, but Schwimpy doesn't bite. Puts a little bit of damage out, but nothing too crazy. And Fnatic will have 16, so at least he'll be on even talent tiers. And now we've got a game on our hands.
It's actually impressive that Fnatic was able to get the Protector at the top. That was really well done by them, because Method played it extremely patient and very disciplined, trying to make sure that they are claiming a lot of infrastructure on the map and getting their own level 16 to still run with a talent advantage. And they were, at times, more than 2 levels ahead. By now, that difference in levels has actually shrunk down to 1.5. Method about to hit 18, whereas Fnatic is on 16.5. Fnatic has bought themselves a ticket back into this game. They can now fight on the next objective on even talents, and that's going to be crucial for them.
Conic discipline getting picked at level 16, giving out a struggle 7 more seconds of Dragon Form, which makes will try to use on the control point. Big lightning breath coming out there, and Nick was actually pretty bruised. That Benny trying to escape using the Iron Skin, but last hope takes some hops here. Iceball comes out, Curson's low, and Breeze goes in. 1 slash, and they get a kill. There's 2, there's 3.
Oh my god. That triple kill here. Smexy popping the ult, all of them moving in, getting the heals and the damage out. Now they jump and take the copy apart as well. Only Genji surviving. Abathur, of course, still there as well too, but he won't be able to do too much. And Fnatic has taken a massive momentum swing to take down the fort at the bot lane, grab more experience, rotate into the middle, steal camps. What a fantastic fight out of Fnatic.
Let's go ahead and check it out one more time here. As Nick goes forward and Breeze turns around with a lightning breath, he hits 3 with it. Curson takes some damage on that back line. Watch Schwimpy here as he goes in for the engage after Last Hope. Last Hope is getting so many hops there. Curson gets so low thanks to the cleansing flame. Pulse bomb comes out, the ice block comes out just to keep Curson alive, but after that, you just have Fnatic in a position where they just clean up.
They threw everything in URL, and Method just could not take her down. Great play here, especially, of course, the front line with Breeze and with URL locking both of them down, just opening them up, slowing them, making sure that nobody could get away from Tracer as Shrimmy was going in for the kills, and then Smexy coming in and just raining fire from the heavens, healing his allies, damaging especially Malfurion, who ice blocked out of it for a few moments, but just could not live through it.
That cooldown reduction on level 7, man. Paying off for URL so much here, the Holy Avenger.
Yeah.
Getting that 1 second reduction, hitting the enemy heroes. Okay, well 19 to 19. This is actually a tied up game now in experience and tied up in terms of kills, 4 to 4.
To be honest, it's also the Holy Wrath that we saw in the last fight. Because oftentimes I'm looking at the talent like, okay, how much do you get out of it? But now the splash on URL's basic attacks after casting an ability was fantastic because they were all clustered. She could get so much damage out in these situations. So Holy Wrath really coming through to bolster the stats in general for Last Hope slightly and helping him to just deliver these blows that Shrimpy could then capitalize on with the kills.
Method gets the first control here, but they want level 20. Abathur having the Hive Mind will be great for their composition, so they're trying to soak it up where they can Abathur with his body in the middle. But also trying to put a little bit of pressure on his control point in case Fnatic is able to get 20 first. In fact, Fnatic is working on that 20, and they have Tassadar on the top lane pushing in.
Yeah, and Tassadar is already with the camp now directly at the fort, and that is scary. This Method is going to lose even more there as time continues if Abathur himself can't not deal with it. So Mena is now going to join up with the rest. We have level 20 in, and that gives fantastic talents over to Fnatic. Get Stuff, Twilight Archon, Seraphim also, that Unstoppable self-cleanse for 2 seconds on a 10-second cooldown, Hellgate and on Ruby Wings. Those are really difficult ones to deal with.
I tell you guys, be careful with that gift stuff coming online. A squishy Thrall that we were talking about becomes very apparent. He did pick up the shield at level 20 to make this a little bit easier for him to survive. Archon gets popped. Mene will come down to the back right corner. Breeze goes in. He has that lightning breath available. Schwimpy taking some damage though.
But getting away. And here comes Breeze on the conveyor belt. Actually, everybody is low on the side of Method. That didn't work out for them so far. They're trying to somehow escape here, but Curse is already in trouble. He's going in with the Twilight Dream, trying to get the kill, but it's Genji who falls instead. Ethereal on the run. Smexy with the Dragon Queen, and everybody dying as Fnatic is going in to drop Johanna. And Last Hope is just hibbity-hoppiting around trying to get another kill against Curson. Doesn't quite work out for him. but what a fight there. Method trying to blow Tacita up, and Mena with the immediate dimensional shift, moving away. They shift the target onto Tracer, Shrimpy escapes too, and all of a sudden, everything falls apart for Method.
And Fnatic heads to the bottom lane. They have the Protector. They'll be looking at this turret. They'll be looking to grab a keep too, and if they can shred through this fast enough, they can go straight for the core. Still 25 seconds before Genji is even on the field, as well as Johanna. Method trying to poke where they can. Ethereal in particular put this Protector low on health, but this Dragon duration is still up and available for Smexy. He has yet to lose it after the Protector phase, and they will drop the Circle of Life, and they look like they're going to get this win.
They're going for it. Fnatic looked weak in that early game. It didn't look good for them. Method walking away with a massive lead, but the turnaround as Fnatic comes back into the game, secures victory on Volskaya and ties the series.
A tied series here. And this best-of-5 series, something that I think we were expecting, especially a good way to end our Sunday to go all the way to the 5th game.
Yeah.
So now we are at least secured for Game 3 and Game number 4, but Fnatic pulling together. They were in a position where, I won't lie, I was doubting if they would be able to come back. They were a couple levels behind, talents it seemed like most of the time, but one good team fight in that bottom left part of the map allowed for them to tie up the series and, of course, eventually go on to win the next fight and win the game.
I definitely share your concerns there, and I think Fnatic fans were not really happy with that early game and very concerned that they would lose it. But again, it comes all down. I feel it's really all about the top fight. The fight on the second objective, that was crucial. Fnatic was so far behind. They were 3 levels behind, basically, and a massive talent behind. And Method played it well. Very smart, very collected, disciplined, patient, making sure that they give Fnatic a bit of space while they secure their own level 16. And then Fnatic is just somehow able to get that bit of time they need to secure the Protector. They use the Dragon Queen to create some space, push the opponent back, and barely hold on to it. And it was so well done. Getting the Protector, if they don't take it, I think they lose the game right there.
Yeah.
So that was well done by them, and it brought them back in the game. And then in the fights, they just showed a better coordination than Method, and we have definitely a series in our hand. A 1-1, and it's going to be a tough one for both teams.
We definitely have a series on our hands. We'll be right back with the rest of it as we head to a commercial break, but Game 3 will be coming at you.